Hey everyone, welcome to ZSR. Today we have yet another Ocarina of Time randomizer match. Today we have Flouche versus WeightyWords. Very exciting. Tracking today we have Worn Traveler and Melkwe. And on comms we have Nastriel and DT Kim, and they will take it from here.
Thank you so much, Baseball. And indeed, I think this is what, Seed 5 versus Seed 28? So, exciting seed. How are you doing today, DT Kim?
I'm quite good. I've watched a lot of randomizers today, but I'm very hyped for today's matchup.
Sounds like a wonderful day to me. Already, chat is siding with Weighty. Oh, goodness, but fantastic. I see our stats page does indeed have the correct seeds. At least I think it does. But at any rate, yes, it does. Seed 5 versus Seed 28. Perfect. I did take a look at the stats, not to be misled by those seedings. So they met 4 times in qualifiers, and actually, WeightyWords pretty much had a clean sweep during those 4. They tied once. Otherwise, WeightyWords took all 3.
Interesting. All right, I would have predicted otherwise. To be honest, WeightyWords not a player I've watched a lot of time. I've watched racing a lot of times, but the performance he put on speaks for itself. So
Indeed,
he can
and
be a threat
looks like
to
we're
basically anyone. And we are off. Oh, trail spawn. That's actually quite a spicy spawn, at least for a child link.
Indeed, and since we start with a bomb bag, it really doesn't matter, but I think we started inside of the fairy fountain barely, so you don't even need explosives to look at the fairy, just ZL.
I mean, bomb bag, first check, big chest. Oh, Dark Link is dead. Alright.
So, Dark Link dead, we find a wallet. Flouche doing the good thing that I never do with a Death Mountain Trail spawn of actually remembering to check Death Mountain Crater while you're up here.
I've also forgot it once, and then I went to the crater instead of avoiding out. I soft resetted and lost like 30 seconds because of it. But Domain is foolish. We get Serenade here, alright.
And Serenade out of the minuet check. I say minuet check, the child minuet check. So sorry, a song check.
Yeah, it's very definitely great to have, since our spawn is near the market. It's a quite decent way to get to the Master's Hot Pedestal's child. The other one, obviously, being pretty good.
Definitely. Also, if I saw those hints correctly, we miscellaneously found out 30, 40, and 50 skulls are all dead. Dodongo's Cavern, of all places, is dead. And I want to say the last one was Shadow Trial 2 had nothing.
Yeah. Dodongo's Cavern dead, Domain dead, Darkling Loop dead, Sky's dead, and Shadow Trial 2 is dead. As well as Sunsong and Burning Cake.
I had missed that one. Also, a Cacta Baronade from the Kokiri Forest and an immediate hook shot out of Mido's house.
2 big chests. Mido could be hiding something big here. Oh, right, Slingshot. It's not the best item, but it comes in handy when routing in Lost Woods now, since you can just do an extra check there. Probably going to head to Case or Chest, play Suns, and then maybe the rupees don't really work for Childless Woods, but I mean, with Slingshot you can play it.
But our runner is being very kind to us here on Restream, giving us multiple points of view, with Flouche going into Crater and then on to the Lost Woods, whereas WeightyWords just took the owl immediately down to Kakariko and now on the way to Lon Lon Ranch. So we're getting a lot of information very quickly here.
Yeah, it can end up being quite stressful depending on the hintstone and item situation, honestly, if the 2 runners are diverging in the early game. But so far it's looking quite alright.
Indeed, and I haven't seen, like, definitely as far as item pickups, Flouche has certainly found more things, but I mean, he went to Mido's house. It's not like it's a place that
Yeah.
WeightyWords is going to debate about going to.
Absolutely not. Unless it's the perfect jet seat, you don't really skip out of Midas house.
Indeed, maybe like with a Kakariko, with Kokiri Foolish, however, even with that, I feel like you still go in there for bomb chews. Maybe not with a bomb bag, though, I do admit.
Our child spawn was in a Death Mountain trail from the Fairy Fountain out. And there's a second Dark Link copy.
Oh, but
Vanilla upon us, alright.
immediately drinking a Poe on Flouche's side and actually gaining health from it. Always a 50-50.
And we are collecting a fish. That's actually very nice. I think he's gonna sell the fish at the market vendor, like the lady sitting on the floor, and get some rupees of it.
Makes good sense, especially with that wallet that Flouche has.
Yeah, I think it's 50, so we'll end up on 120, which is actually enough for early game rupee shenanigans.
And indeed, but if memories... Yes, please go ahead. That's far more important.
Yeah, and hover boots in the London Ranch silo. Early harvest. We have to beat shadows some time in the future, so definitely rather have them sooner or later. As sooner than later, so.
Indeed. And as far as the fish in the bottle, if memory serves, actually you get 100 rupees for it. You get 50 rupees for selling bugs to the same vendor.
Ah, alright. I've just seen, I think Cola sold bugs. Well, someone sold bugs a while ago. And I just assumed fish is 50 as well.
Makes good sense. Honestly, the only reason I keep track of it is for shop hints, if the mode allows for them.
Yeah. No, actually very good to know that it's 50. I think I've never sold to the merchant in my random career. And I think I should do it more often, especially in the early game, when rupees are tight. Because you wanna buy a shield, you want to maybe do two Lost Woods scrubs, Treacherous Game, Shooting Gallery, maybe Bomb to Bowling with our Bombex guard. Of course, Sphere Zero checks. You just need rupees. And
Indeed, and just
faster than... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to agree, and that being able to have it in a bottle, you just get it that much faster. My apologies.
Yeah, it's just so much faster. If you are in a grotto anyway, I mean, it saves you, I guess, 2 reloads when you're trying to find the drawbridge. So, just 3 rupees.
And these runners will be looking for any edge they can get. A few seconds here or there, it all adds up. In the meantime, our runners basically tracing each other's steps. So not too much new information that we're seeing right now, as Flouche is where Weighty has been and Weighty is where Flouche has been. But probably both runners, I expect, are looking to go adult fairly soon, and we'll see if they diverge from there.
Yeah, both runners basically just, as I said, doing things the other one has already done. And probably meeting up together as adult in, like, not too much time.
Indeed. I believe this is our first look at market on Flouche's side, though, so some new information coming in. And yes, thank you, ZSR bot, for all of our lovely entrances. Okay. DT Kim, I know you're a runner. You're prepping for your upcoming matches. Meanwhile, Flouche is on Team by a Shield. GG's Flouche, by the way. Looking at our dungeon entrances, anything stand out to you?
Wait, let me get a closer look on them. Yeah, the thing that sticks out most for me is that we already have logical access to our Ice Cavern with the Vanilla Opponent song as well as the battle. We can get the song from Ice Cavern.
Goodness, and chat definitely agrees with you. Rush Ice is the popular opinion, it seems.
Rush Ice is available. Besides that, Yeah, Foolish DC definitely comes in handy with its entrance being at the Shadow Temple. You can't get
For sure.
tripped up
Also,
by finding late dins or late magic that way, unless like AD is required, but we will see. Amazing shooting gallery from Flouche side.
indeed, but I don't think anything off of Bomb Shoe Bowling Alley or Child Shooting. So first look at hints, Rolling Boulder, River.
Prelude AD, Engraver Diebesbane. Alright. Yeah, these hints are quite hard to grasp. Especially with better runners, they skip through it in an instant. But I think I got all of them. Our Graver is path to Edith's Bane, our River has 0 majors. Our Water Boss key chest is a small key. And our Prelude is on all dungeons. So it's not an AD seed.
Fantastic. Also, you were talking about dins. I'm pretty sure that on WeightyWords side, we checked the Lost Woods Bridge Scrub, and it said that behind wooden walls, there's a whole bunch of junk. So that's the lovely thing to see.
Oh, that's actually amazing for routing purposes. Getting stuck in Shadow Temple without a dins it always slows your seed down a lot. Even if you don't get stuck, if you head up, if you ride the ball without dins, you usually end up pulling the block to activate the shortcut, which also costs time. So not having to do this and being certain that you can finish Shadow Temple is just very convenient for late game routing. Or mid game, depends on what items we have. Wait, that's dead. Where's Shadow? Shadow's in Spirit. We have bombs, we can beat Shadow. Nah, we can't. We need a bow or long shot or choose. Yeah, we can go and beat Shadow.
Indeed, but the players can always buy choose. We started with the bomb bag.
Yeah, and we have a wallet as well. I think. How many rupees is the cheapest chew bag in the bomb shoe shop?
I believe it's a 5-pack for 60 rupees.
Alright. Even if it's not there, you could spend 30 extra rupees after doing bomb shoe bowling, because the third item from bomb shoe bowling is always 10 choose.
Indeed.
So you can grab bomb shoes there if you're already checking it.
For sure, although eating that time lost to grab them doesn't always feel great. On the other side of things, though, with Flouche exploring the first bits of Adult, I believe it was ZL off of the actual minuet check, so no hiding ZL inside of Ice Cavern today, it would seem, or anywhere else.
Yeah, okay to Baronade, if I just read it correctly.
Indeed, I believe so. So that's 2 paths to our Baronade?
Yeah, Cake as well as KF. We had a hookshot in KF as well as a slingshot, and we don't know what's in Storm's Grotto yet. Target in the Woods was dead, and so I think slingshot is less likely than hookshot, but we'll never know until we fulfill the path.
Indeed, but with Foolish, Dodongo's Cavern, and checking Target in the Woods, as you said, I would tend to agree.
Quite. I mean, Pile Spirit, but I mean, Queso, depending on where the Queso is. Yeah, Keg Path could be our Vanilla Storms, as Chat pointed out. And Flouche going towards the Medigor hint. Sadly, it doesn't pay out for him. It's a hint that I don't see many runners picking up.
Indeed, if you have a hammer, it's certainly not bad. And honestly, I like the trick to be able to do it quote-unquote quickly with bombs, so it's a check I will often do, but not always, especially if I'm being conscientious about my explosive usage at the time.
Yeah, with hammer, it's way faster than with explosives. But, I mean, spending the 4 bombs, especially in the Grand City area, I mean, you will probably do it in the early game quite often, like the area. So I wouldn't like to spend 4 additional bombs if I don't know I'm gonna to get a refill soon. Anyway, Bow and
Maybe.
Flouche side from the creator, as well as Nocturne on the creator song.
Indeed. And also, hello, Raiders. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I think Baseball 1 rated Baseball 2 because baseball is omnipotent and everywhere. But disregarding that, we're seeing some very fun tech from Flouche's side, although with 3 hearts, it definitely requires fast timing. You can get to the Death Mountain Crater Ferry without a hammer, just with hovers and a bomb bag and a shield, technically. Gave it one go and said, okay, with 3 hearts, we're not sure if we're going to go for it again.
Maybe a second one? Yeah, I mean, the trick is, I've never seen it in action. But it's... I mean, if anyone's going to go for it, it's probably going to be Flouche.
I mean, it lets you skip an entire item requirement, and it's not the worst in the world to try. However, I do admit it. 3 hearts, the timing is pretty tight, because you have to get into a very particular spot, set up a ground jump before that, preferably, then get on top of the little post and do a back walk with backflip at the right time.
Yeah, definitely not a beginner-friendly trick. You have to be very confident with your overall movement, I think, to pull it off, especially with 3 hearts. But as you said, it's a trick that skips an item requirement. So I think any trick that skips you skips you needing an item is always worth to at least look at and know it exists.
For sure, but as you said, you do have to be very confident in your ability doing it. Of all people, though, Flouche has every reason to be confident. Both of these runners do, to be honest.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes when I watch Flouche, other runners, they mastered basically how to control Link, and their overall movement pool is very, very clean. But sometimes when I watch Flouche, I feel like he's more connected with with Link than other runners are. I don't know.
He is certainly an amazing runner. There is no question whatsoever. I know that I had the pleasure of facing him in, I believe it was SGL this last year, and was promptly destroyed, but it was a very enjoyable match. And we find a strength.
Creator of Phantom Ganon as well. Or was it Trail? I mean, hopefully WeightyWords will pick up the hint in a second. I don't think to Phantom Ganon.
And as KLO pointed out, it is actually a little awkward with that Death Mountain Crater hint. When do you go back and try that trick? Because the song we got out of there was Nocturne, which is very, very convenient, but it leads to Foolish Dodongos, that is also a stone leading to Prelude.
Yeah, but bow on Volcano, so...
Yes.
Yeah, probably just gonna be the bow.
Would make sense. And we have everything else, I believe. We're in Forest, we have bow, hookshot, and strength. There's not much else.
Yeah, we can just go and beat Forest now, which it isn't hinted Foolish. So whenever you can get Forest Temple out of the way without taking risks or doing a big detour, you should always try and clean it out, because it's gonna be 14 to 16 minutes, more like 30 to 40 minutes probably for these runners. They're just gonna, you need to play it anyways, at some point during the seed. So go modding it doesn't help you.
Yep, and fully expect that on WeightyWords' side he will see the bow and follow him in, so I hope that chat is ready for a nap. Hopefully it won't be too long, and knowing these runners it won't, but as the meme, so it speaks, goes. Although personally I'm interested in learning any new tricks I can do to shorten my next time in Forest.
Yeah, Flouche's pokers are definitely something to keep a look at. I've spent probably 15-ish hours on a practice run myself, trying to get the fast kills to work, and I'm still not consistent with it. So, yeah. If you're gonna watch a forest temple, I think it's hard to have a more interesting time with it than right now.
Just one moment. Hopefully no audio is coming through, but I'm going to mute myself until I figure out where I'm hearing voices from.
Yeah, and WeightyWords cleans out the wallet that he didn't grab as a child. And then probably it's not too long until he heads to the forest. I mean, clear out Trail Fairy, maybe get the hint down there, and then probably we're gonna see Minuet into the Forest Temple. So both runners actually right on the same track. I don't think... Yeah, we have the same item layouts. With a boomerang in Forest Temple, alright. How does that make sense? That's the hookshot in KF is locking the boomerang in Forest Temple, and that's why the hookshot is path. And then Keg is very likely gonna be Song of Storms. Speaking of, has anyone been to Adult Keg yet?
I do not believe so, because starting with Minuet, just both of our runners immediately went there, went through Lost Woods into Crater. No time for Adult Keg yet.
And WeightyWords is probably gonna head into it. Well, with the big shot in the trail, Flouche hasn't opened yet. I mean, though it's turning night and we don't have second wallet. Very funny. Alright, we're not going deeper. Oh wait, okay, we do. I thought we were playing Minuet for a second because our time of day wasn't looking great, but then I remembered we have Nocturne. Take 4 majors. Alright.
That is huge info, although it requires you to test your memory.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 songs, so it's basically just 2 major items. I don't think we had a big chest on something big on Skulls, as well as we have seen Child Chickens.
Indeed, so I think all 4 nothing.
Yeah, so we're just looking for 2 more majors.
Also, shoutouts to WeightyWords not putting us through Double Forest. We appreciate it, WeightyWords.
Yeah, appreciate it a lot. Cleaning out a bit of cake while Flouche is progressing in Forest.
Meanwhile, we'll get our first look at the Graveyard song, Graveyard being Path to Evil's Bane.
Requiem.
That is often a Path song.
Oh, and we are dipping. Alright, I would have loved WeightyWords checking out our ladder location, because the Evil's Bane hint paired with the addition of the ladder always hint in Dampesat we have this season always makes up for some amazing predictions with items.
Indeed. Also, Holy Dungeon Rush with that Requiem, I think we can go straight into Shadow Temple and just full clear it.
Yeah, we can. And we know that... Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, if I saw that peak of the arch correctly in Colossus, it has our Diddens.
Alright, I didn't grasp the arch, honestly. I was more focused on the Greg that's on Bigoron.
More than fair.
It's
always good to find.
Nothing on a child hand. Yeah, I mean, we can just go ahead and beat Shadow. It's not hinted foolish. It's a dungeon that we can complete. We have the L, so... And now with the bow, we can full clear it. We can beat Forest already. Yeah. It's going fast today. But I mean, with that spawn, Minuet spawn, as well as the bomb back, I kind of expected a very fast seed, or like at least fast 2 or 3 dungeons.
I would believe it with the seed start we're seeing. Curious, okay. WeightyWords not going into Shadow quite yet, wants to continue doing overworld checks. I believe that they saw the Shadow Temple Wooden Walls is dead, but I can't swear to it. It might have only been on Flouche's side.
Yeah, and the second very funny Bollock Bow in Forest. Oh no, yeah, it's Bollock.
And yes, for anyone who is curious about where we stand in the tournament right now, so if I'm correct, and please feel free to correct me, DT Kim, if I'm mistaken, this is the first match for both of these runners, so it's the group or bracket openers. It functions more as a group, but I believe all of this after qualifier stage for main tournament is considered to be brackets. It is double elimination, so both these runners aren't out of the tournament if they lose and aren't into the main bracket if they win. However, they need 2 wins to get into the main tournament, and at 2 losses they are eliminated and don't make it into the main tournament bracket. So both definitely looking to take a win here and make their lives easier going ahead.
Yeah, nothing to add from my side. And also a quick rundown for anyone who has just tuned in. We've been treated with many big chests and progression items. We can complete Forest Temple as well as Shadow Temple at this point. And yeah, Flouche is a little bit ahead of when it comes to progression in South Dungeons. But WeightyWords cleaned up Full Kit the trail, is on its way to get Kakariko cleared, and has done a little bit of more progression outside of dungeons. So we're basically on par right now when it comes to who's ahead. And fire arrows.
Sadly, we won't be seeing Fire Arrow entry today, even if I was incorrect about that Din's Fire up on Colossus Arch. Just, there's no reason to go into Foolish Dodongo, sadly.
Nope. There isn't. And
GGG. Indeed.
Yeah. That's interesting paired with the Graveyard Path. Our GTG is...
inside of Ice Cavern entrance, I believe.
Ice Cavern. That could give us... Oh, that could be big. Maybe letter on Graveyard?
It's possible. We haven't seen all of Graveyard, but we did find Requiem, so it could also be that letter is just behind Requiem, say somewhere in Shadow Temple?
Yeah, could be, which is it's actually big because our letter locks our Deku tree and Deku is required. Bolero and Keg, which is well accessed, as chat points out, yeah. So maybe we have a boomerang, it wasn't Forest.
And as chat was pointing out, we were expecting Vanilla Storms. We did not get Vanilla Storms. We did get access to Bottom of the Well Vanilla, in a way, because Bolero was what we got out of there.
Wait, we need our storm, like we have the rang, it can't be a rang on the cake path. We need our storm, so Bolero has to lead the storm somehow.
However...
or an item that we find here.
Also, very nice tech by Flouche, jumping or backwalking and then hopping onto the chest to be able to not wait out the falling ceiling. Sorry, just random side note.
Oh, Flouche changed the order that he's... Ooh.
And a K-sword off of Adult Shooting Gallery. So that's one of the 2 items you had mentioned.
Yeah, Flouche changed up the order he's doing the green power in. He used to push it in a different order, but ending at the same position with Link, so you can easily get... That's very nerdy for me that I know that, but I studied it when I was trying to improve a forest.
But it's well worth noting if you want to save a bit of time here and there. And yes, thank you, Soy Sauce. So that K-sword combined with the scale, as well as the 2 songs, Bolero and whatever is on Burning Cack, make up our 4 major items in Kakariko. So no collecting even a single skull this seed beyond what the runners have already collected.
Yeah, so Kakariko is completely dead from this point on, so we can skip on skulls. Yeah, well, we have K-sword, as well as a scale and the 2 songs. That's interesting. any one of these items need to lead to our Song of Storms. And Storms can... What if Storms is an ice cavern? Then... I mean, it can't be an ice cavern, right? We have Eponas already. We can clear ice cavern without going to Keg. So... Song of Time is an ice cavern, and Song of Storms is on Prelude check.
But we also still need our letter.
Not for Java,
no.
We need only Storms. So...
Yes, that's for Evil's Bane.
Either Bolero, Scale, or Queso leads to our water temple completion. Water is vanilla entrance, so maybe towards Irons? Either Irons or Long Shot.
Could be.
Tunic is in the forest. Oh, it's not Tunic. Also, we have 2 wallets.
But makes sense, as you noted. So, water completion, and as chat noted, water completion leads to storms. That would also explain why, for the moment at least, we don't have a Morphopath.
Yeah, because it was stolen by Path Pyrization.
Indeed.
Yeah, so in case it opens up Spirit Temple, which would be ugly, I think. Scale doesn't really look a whole much. We have bombs, so it's basically only the domain, the lake item, as well as maybe in future some gold scale locked stuff.
Indeed. In the meantime, WeightyWords finished what he considered to be his overworld loop. He included the very start of Fire Temple in that as well, and now is joining Flouche in Forest Temple just as he finishes. So perfect timing as long as you're good with one runner being in Forest.
And finishing with style with a clean quick kill on Flouche's side.
Indeed.
It's one of these tricks that it's really hard to get the hang of, and you don't really know what you're doing wrong. And suddenly it snaps, and the progression is just getting easier. At least for me. But I think if you've practiced tricks and you know what I'm talking about.
I'm aware of the trick, but I have not practiced it myself. I figured there are too many other areas that I can improve first.
Yeah, I did it for style points. I'm basically quite confident in doing it everywhere except like the entrance gate, and I've just did it for style points because I want to flex a bit. If I'm going to lose a race, I want to lose like in style.
Fantastic. In the meantime, so WeightyWords will be continuing in Forest. I believe if I have all of the items that were found in here correctly, they shall find a boomerang, another bow, and a t-shirt for Water Temple. But outside of that, not too much. In the meantime, Flouche headed over to get the song out of Kakariko will be rewarded with, or out of Kakariko, out of Graveyard, then probably out of Kakariko, and we'll here get Requiem.
Yeah, will Flouche play Nocturne now? Yeah, alright, so Flouche will get the cake for Major Hint before heading into cake. That's important, honestly.
Indeed, it makes sense. It's your plan while you're here. You don't know what song you're getting.
We're skipping the hint today.
I honestly can't swear to who has seen what, so it's quite possible.
I mean, like, he doesn't have it on his personal tracker, and I'm quite sure it was on the Graveyard Hintstone.
Interesting. Maybe a little bit of seed bleed in there. Hate to see it, but if it's just a hint, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, we're not gonna skip that much of cake. But it will maybe bait him into collecting skulls later on if he doesn't find the second copy soon-ish or decides to go back to check a Hintstone.
Fair. Although if memory serves, he was already up to at least 8 out of Forest Temple.
Yeah,
and who knows?
We didn't see Child Valley today. Yet.
Indeed, not yet. There's time yet.
Yeah.
Although, as far as items we're looking for, we're as you pointed out at the beginning, not looking for all too much. Since the Evil's Bane is likely pointing to our letter in some form or fashion, we also need that to complete Deku Tree, and hence we might not get a Goma path. Actually, I don't think we can get a Goma path, to be honest.
Goma is in... Nah, we can't. I mean, we could get one for a slingshot. But...
For some reason, I thought even the B1 skip was in logic nowadays, but I'm probably wrong on that.
it was in logic in SGL settings.
That might be what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, our runners again mirroring each other.
Samsung can't be passed here since items that are hinted on sometimes or always hints cannot be referred to with a path hint. Because the game assumes you already know that the item is there, so it doesn't hint it a second time. And since Burning Cake is an always hint, it can't be passed.
Fun fact, though, if you ever run in other style tournaments, for one example, the multi-world tournament, or just multi-worlds in general, that rule does get a little bit fuzzy when you have multiple worlds being hinted. And it turns out that if you hint a different world than your own, where the other world has a miscellaneous item, it can be hinted path, but that's not going to affect any of these standard races.
Yeah, okay, but good to know. So I could get a hint like World 2 is path to player 3 Phantom Gunner, and then it's referring to the hookshot on 50 or something.
Most certainly. It's something that has caught many a runner by surprise, myself included. In the meantime, we have Flouche getting Bolero and continuing to clear Kakariko, and WeightyWords progressing through Forest. No huge shockers as far as their routing for the moment. Skullmask being dead. I believe we've already seen that. I know we've already seen that.
Yeah, we've seen it already. At least on WeightyWords' side, and maybe even the second copy of it. But my prediction is gonna be that Flouche will be probably playing Requiem after clearing up Cake, and then we'll maybe see a Shadow Temple clear from his side.
I would expect so. Assuming he has the wooden walls hit, most certainly. Just it also matches with his immediately clearing Forest, and to me makes good sense. If you can quote-unquote full clear a progression dungeon, there's no reason not to.
Yeah. And that's case out for Flouche?
The case sword is an awkward item to be getting early in this seed, because it leads to Spirit Temple, which is a stone.
Especially in non-path location.
Indeed.
It worries me a bit, honestly, that we could end up needing strength too. Or like, just be clearing out a bit of spirit in general.
Weird feeling that HBA has something. It does feel like a lot of the standard setting seeds have had HBA having something. I believe we've seen our 2 dual hints, so we won't be seeing any HBA hinted outside of maybe a Fortress path or Foolish.
Oh, we have 2 Foolishes, Domain and DC.
Yeah. And our important checks are also complete if memory serves.
Memory serves, so yeah. Only new thing that could hint to HPA would be Fortress Path, but...
So the question then becomes if our runners choose to go to Ice Cavern and when, because otherwise there's very little reason to go in that direction. So Flouche completing their Kakariko adventure, for lack of a better term, checking for the Requiem song and knowing that Shadow Temple is in here probably is full clearing it, but we shall see here in a moment. And I get a second look to see if it was Din's up on the arch.
Oh, yeah, it is. I was mistaking it for Red Rupee for a second, but the white outlines look very Din's-like.
Indeed, although with nothing inside of Shadow Temple entrance, and us already having fire arrows and a bow, I fully expect neither runner to ever pick it up.
Yeah. Even if, I mean, it's not gonna be an idea, and we don't have to go into DC. The only reason you would want it is to have a fire source as a child, but on the other hand, what would you really do with it?
Indeed.
Flame storage exists and can be done as adult. Spirit Temple can be done with sticks. So yeah.
And the only other thing I can think of is Goron City, but with ZL, we don't need Dins and a magic source to be able to do Goron Pot.
Yeah. Also, the only thing stopping us from firing fire arrows, crazy wording right there, is their magic. So as soon as we get magic and we could use Dins, we can also use FAs. Yeah.
Indeed, but speaking of, and looking at our dungeon layout, knowing that we don't need Dins for Shadow Temple, we do have potential Muggle mode later. That's always fun and concerning, both all at once.
Yeah, no magic. I haven't heard Muggle mode yet, but as I'm a big Harry Potter fan, I like it.
Okay, so Flouche, we will be seeing if there's anything new here in Shadow Temple as WeightyWords completes Forest Temple. So far, a whole lot of nothing. Honestly, Flouche, my first memory of Flouche, I will be honest, is of watching him in Shadow Temple and just his execution and it being so ridiculous. Using hover boots and what felt to me like ESS turns, but probably were just 45-degree turns with specific setups to get from specific rooms to each other. So definitely something I will enjoy taking note of, and probably DT Kim, you know more about than I do.
Yeah, when like the 2 weeks or something that hammer slides were allowed, I've experimented a bit and found a hammer slide that leads you from basically you are able to skip the Shadow Crusher room as well as the Invisible Scythe room and just skip the giant gap. And Flouche replied to my clip with a clip of him doing it without hammer slide and just hoverboard movement. So yeah, Flouche with hovers is just a combination that amazing to see.
Indeed, and if I'm following you, Kamen Rider, we also need something to complete water. But yes, as far as our medallion completions, we have a lot of what we want.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing stopping us from beating water is most likely Iron Boots. Since Water Hop is allowed in Season 9, I've been doing it like 9 out of 10 seats and just skipping the long shot.
Indeed, but if we already have one scale, so if we find our other scale in the long shot, that would be an alternative way of getting around it, the quote-unquote old way without Water Hop, at least 9 out of 10 times, as long as we pray that we don't have Boss Key on Central Pillar.
Yeah.
And technically those odds are a little skewed for us because we do have our dual hint and the Boss Key hint, all for Water Temple. So we know 3 of the checks that are not Boss Key currently.
And we also know Darklink Loop is completely dead. Not even a key, if I remember correctly. So we know that water only has 2 items for us.
Indeed.
If we were to
Also,
look.
Soy Sauce. We are missing that last hint. However, because our light arrows are in GTG, GTG is in the Ice Cavern entrance. To get the light arrows, you have to have the letter. Therefore, it can't hit a lower path priority, such as Deku Tree, in this case Fire Medallion, for the letter. So we won't be getting a Goma hint, but we are still missing that one hint.
And I mean, the hint's gonna be very useful because I think it's gonna lead towards. I mean, it could hint us a strength for force temple completion, but what's left that can be hinted for, like path for Shadow or Spirit Mad dungeons. The bow is hinted. The rank is hinted. Like the bow. The hook.
I would expect, assuming we're correct currently, that Song of Storms is on the prelude check, that we will have one more path that leads to either something, say Strength 2, or Iron Boots for GTG, being the Strength 2 block room or the toilet, respectively.
Yeah, I think I was
or something for
Pathfind.
Yes.
Because the Deku Pathfind already has been taken, most likely. Randomizer is always trying to give you one Pathfind per medallion, and because of path prioritization, some of them get stolen. So I think the Kakariko Pathfind, the Gerudo, the Graveyard Pathfind once was a path to Queen Gorma, but since it also locks light arrows, which are higher priority, it gets rewarded to path to Evilsbane. So I believe, I mean, we could get a Shadow Pathfind, but since we can complete Shadow, it wouldn't serve us any good. So, yeah, I'm just hoping for Marfa hint.
And agreed, unless everything required to beat Morpha is required for a higher priority. Hence, if you have to clear Water Temple to get your Song of Storms, that Morpha hint may be stolen. So that's the current theory.
Yeah. I mean, we do need to complete Water for Storms, yeah. That's why the Keg... Oh, yeah. You're right, that's why the Keg hint is... That's why Keg...
As far as your question... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just trying to say you need, since Water Temple locks our storms, the Keg hint could also, like the Keg to Baronet hint, could have been our Morpha Path hint that was robbed. So maybe we get a Shadow hint or something.
Aurores. Unfortunately, we don't have magic to make use of it.
Yeah, and of course, as Shadow's pointing out, we could get a path that's already fulfilled, like Lon to Bongo Bongo, since, yeah.
And it's possible, let's see, what did we find in Lon Ranch?
Hover Boots, as well as upon us.
Okay, so definitely possible. I'm curious what we're going to find here at the end of Shadow, to be honest, because I'm expecting something, and hence us not to have a Shadow Path, but it very well could be. So far, I believe in Shadow we've found Furores, and no items that unlock anything that I've seen.
Roses and bombs in the pot.
And we're almost done, considering we know that Wooden Walls is dead.
And we need something in Shadow. Do we? Wait, Hover Boots? We don't have a magic and no lens, so Vanilla Crossing isn't on the table yet. Because the path to Evilsbane is Requiem, as far as we know.
Indeed.
And Shadow Temple is still Requiem locked so far.
But we will be getting good information after the boat ride from those last two checks, because if there's nothing on them, then I think our last path hint, as Soy Sauce pointed out, has to be effectively Lon to Bongo. Because unless those hovers are required for something else, and we have Foolish River, I suppose it could be something in Fire Temple. Sometimes Fire Temple will steal a Hover Boots path because you need to get a key off of Volvagia.
I didn't pay attention in Forest Temple. I think it wasn't Harbor Boots locked.
Agreed, but
Was there
I'll
a
be
King
honest,
Claw
I
Master? I
also...
don't know. Who even looks at these things?
Only better runners than me. I shouldn't even say that, but certainly better runners than me.
I mean, you made main tournament as like seed 24-ish, right?
Indeed, but even a broken clock is right twice a day, so I trust both of these runners to know far better than me.
Yeah. Even though on paper your seeding is better than WeightyWords, so don't talk yourself down too much. You're still amazing runner.
Dankeschön. But we're here to talk about the more amazing runners on Restream today. So, going to Floormaster. Still, I'm suspicious we're going to find something here. Maybe I'm dead wrong. It's good information either way. Also, in the meantime, WeightyWords following into Shadow makes good sense after completing Forest. Again, just full clear your completable progression that's linear. No reason whatsoever not to.
Oh, that's a big chance. The cross has been hiding it. Double defense doesn't hurt, but you would have liked to find something that gives you progression.
And yes, Slingshot was in Mido's house, so technically in a path location.
Yeah, but I think the path is already fulfilled since our hookshot locked the Rang in Forest Temple.
It is until we find at least Longshot, because that would require our second hookshot to be hookshot locked.
It would. But yeah, we'll see.
And don't get me wrong, that makes good sense. Just something to consider.
Yeah. Like, personally, I wouldn't follow the Slingshot path now. Or, like, I wouldn't... I would probably have it written down. But until I'm way farther into the seed without finding anything else for Baronade, I wouldn't pursue it.
Indeed. So, Flouche entering the bongo fight. We'll probably be done with it shortly. Question is, where do we go from here? Also, beautiful one cycle.
Yeah, it's always amazing to get this. I just can't hit 150 BPM like consistent enough.
But at this point, really the only progression that you can do, so to speak, is GTG. And it's out of logic, and you don't have strength 2. You do have Furores, but you don't have magic unless you find it inside of GTG.
Yeah, so nothing at the end of Shadow Temple that would constitute the path in being stolen.
Indeed. So I agree our last path end should be Bongo Bongo, and therefore, in effect, we have all of our path ends.
Yeah, probably Bongo, something Bongo-ish. London Bongo very likely. The boss already hinted. Bombs can't be path. No strength can't be for Bongo. No, it can't be. Yeah, it can't be. Yeah. Last half and very likely to be London to Bongo, since everything else that's required for Shadow Temple is either already hinted for something else.
Indeed.
Or
WeightyWords finding the big chest in Shadow Temple, which he will soon find out is Furores. Flouche is going child. I kind of like this. You have a graveyard that it was looking like it was the Requiem path, but you're not sure. I'm very interested what Dampe Gravedigging has.
Yeah, I am as well. And there wasn't anything else on Keg, on Graveyards, except the song.
Also,
Oh, and we're heading well. That's even better. following the keg path with the bolero in the windmill.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Lots going on. Personally, I do like if you are adult and you're going to go child, you can go over to OGC and set time of day to the appropriate time for Dampe grave digging. So personally, I like that approach a little bit better. Maybe it pays out, maybe it doesn't, but a lot going on for these runners. I have the luxury of being able to watch them and make my judgments as if I know better.
Just well, iron boots, alright. That
It very much fits with the
something.
theory that Song of Storms is behind Prelude.
Yeah, it probably is. That's why. I mean, we beat Shadow with the iron boots. We can clear water. It could just be the fulfillment, but of course, we should keep going because there still can. Should you be going? On Flouche side, you're missing Storms to beat well, but Storms is on Burning is on Prelude. You can beat
But I
water
think
now.
the big thing right now is where is the magic, and therefore if you're in a dense location, you just have to full clear
Oh,
it
yeah,
because your
true,
magic could
magic.
be anywhere.
Yeah, I forgot about magic, but we need magic and letter for Gore mode on Flouche side. And we know the letter is probably on the graveyard path.
Indeed. We also have some oddities that we might need extra items. For example, we know light arrows are in GTG. Do we need strength 2? Maybe. Do we need Song of Time? I really hope not, but maybe.
If possible, yeah. Yeah, definitely water's a good play. There are only 2 items in Water Temple because we have some hints already. So I would probably dip out of water as soon as I get a boss key, but then clearing away at Jabu Jabu. Of course, you can skip some checks there, but it doesn't hurt taking them, especially if you still need magic.
Indeed. At least
we
we
get-
do know this. Oh, sorry.
I was just thinking if our last path then could be a path of the hero.
None of our dungeons require the item, but it would require that, to my knowledge, Path of the Hero takes a third prioritization, so to speak. So we would have to have the hover boots be logically required for a different dungeon. Specifically,
Yeah, right.
Actually, it would specifically have to be for Jabu. So it is possible, but it would require something silly like long shot inside of Water Temple on the long shot or hover boots chest in the Santa room behind Ice Witch.
Yeah, or just long shot in castle, right?
True. Well, long shot in castle, if we're right about Song of Storms being on Prelude, can't happen because we
Yeah.
need to complete Jabu to get there.
Yeah, true. But I guess somewhere else that's behind Hook. I mean, unlikely, but it can happen. But yeah, I wouldn't really gamble on this.
And it looks like no Rudos in Bottom of the Well, sadly. Which honestly makes sense. We still have a graveyard path. It could just lead to Strength 2, but expectation right now, at least on my end, is it's leading to Letter. The question is where? Because Requiem was my main theory, and so far Requiem, unless I'm mistaken, has only led to Saria's Song as something we can pursue.
Yeah, that's right. So we could do Golden City as a child or Childless Woods, looking for our letter.
And if it helps Harum, so these are, for lack of a better term, quarters for the group phase, or the first phase of main tournament. So this is the first round of the main tournament, but it's the third to last and hence quarters for this section of the main tournament. That's probably the reason for the naming. And indeed, as SRS Business noted in chat, we do have, whatchamacallit, fire arrows and dins both available.
Yeah, he's right on that point. Also, no, I don't think we have seen Damper. Or, like, Child Damper at least.
But in the meantime, DT Kim, as you said, Flouche going straight into water. You have hookshot, you have iron boots, you have access to water hop. Makes perfectly good sense. In the meantime, WeightyWords completing Shadow Temple. Same thing, it's progression.
Yeah, playing progression is never really wrong. So, I mean, it's water is technically path, so the two items that are left inside of Water Temple could just be something.
Indeed. WeightyWords, I think, feeling kind of the same as me, getting nothing out of Shadow. Why? I was expecting something.
Yeah. Water BK is not hinted. Like the BK chest is hinted. It has a small key. But we don't know what the boss key is.
Oh, and I think WeightyWords is a runner after my own heart. I think we're going to see him run over to set time of day real quick.
Yeah, looks like it, yeah. Darklink is dead as well. So all of our key checks are hinted.
Indeed, one of the few times you can actually ignore every small key chest in Water Temple.
Yeah, no keys needed. Oh, please let something be behind his chest.
Just a small key. Although I was going to say maybe some logic implications, but no, not with our sometimes hints, sadly. So I think that almost guarantees that our last hint is to Bongo.
I think we spotted either a big chest or the big key. I wasn't able to get it.
Agreed, but fortunately we will see here in a moment.
Oh, the big chest. Alright, so only one item left in water.
Can we put that back? I wanted to not see that this entire seed. Thank you.
You don't want to... I mean, you want to see it, but only a second before you're nothing on Ganondorf. On Ganon.
Indeed. In the meantime, WeightyWords showing us Richard unfortunately has nothing, but good to know. Can go straight into Bombchu Bowling, which we've seen and won't have anything, but still good to get these checks out of the way when it's convenient, and you don't always have 60 rupees the first time you're in here.
But I mean, the hammer... It's not, like... It can't have anything... Really. Obviously, you can find a magic in Fire Temple. But if you're following the Iron Boots path, or like the Keg path, which has Iron Boots on it, you know that you want, like, you end up on Song of Storms at the end, and you know where the songs are, and Hammer doesn't lock a song. So...
True, so it would have to be for an item, or potentially an item that leads to another item. Oh, and Graveyard is a very simple path.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest path you're gonna get, and that's no mode, right?
We're still missing our magic, but we're close.
Stupid. I always forget stupid magic. It's
We also don't have our light arrows yet. We know they're in GTG, but if they're Strength 2 locked or Song of Time locked, we do still have issues. We do have a hammer if it's logically hammer locked, though.
yeah. Let's just say I'm in believers mode. I'm in believers mode often, but when I'm in believer mode, I sometimes forget that we need items to beat Ganon.
Indeed.
Or, like,
Surely it's on the
anything
way,
else.
right?
It has to be on the way. It's always on the way. Trust.
Boss key on Dragon Chest. At least you have the river hint to point you to this way faster, but I despise it when boss key is in that chest myself.
Yeah, and it's even worse if you can't route it in after doing Dark Link. Because after doing Dark Link and River Chest, you can peek it, and if there's something, it's not really slow in playing. But pushing the block when the water is low and then going through the tactile room, it's not fun, man.
Indeed. But you do what you have to do. In the meantime, WeightyWords and Bomb of the Well, they found their iron boots. I believe that's all they're going to find here, but similar to Flouche, has to full clear it. There could be a magic very easily in here.
Yeah, magic's probably the make it or break it point at this time. Like, even though I would say Flouche is ahead, like a full water temple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there can so many spots where the magic can be, and if it's just Magic Casino, you could end up looking for magic for half an hour upwards.
Indeed. Also, WeightyWords has some information ahead of Flouche. Flouche definitely has the graveyard path hint, and I have no doubt that it will lead him to Letter, but the question is, when do you fit that in? Because you have to have time of day be so specific when you go there.
I mean, probably now. Because
that's my hope.
It has to be. Like, finish water, set time of day, and then you are... Yeah, I mean, he's gonna play Shadow Temple anyway, and he's gonna play Jabu, so he needs to open the well. So it wouldn't hurt setting time of day. I think, yeah, he's gonna route it like that. I mean, he didn't Burning Kick his son, so that's... I don't see Flouche missing that letter, honestly.
And sure enough, leaving, this looks very, very good to me.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that, yes, from our point of view, it makes perfectly good sense, but when you're the runner, when you are to some degree stressed and you are also having to execute while keeping track of everything, it is easy for something to fall through the cracks.
Yeah, it is. And, I mean, if you're already cleared Shadow Temple. So, I mean, it's really worth it double-checking the path hint. But let's say you wouldn't have cleared Shadow Temple because it's a different dungeon and you don't need it for Burning Keg. It would be very easy to be misleaded into thinking, oh yeah, that's my path is Shadow. Let's be fast and skip dumper.
And that's why I suspected that we would have something in Shadow. But that being disproven, Flouche agrees with you. We need to chase this path. We need to figure it out. Same as WeightyWords. Both of them finding their letter without any issue. Also confirmed that Song of Storms is on Prelude. So it makes good sense with our paths. But always nice to have that confirmation and actually have Song of Storms in your pocket, at least as far as Flouche currently.
Yeah, I mean, it's already nice when you make a logic call and it ends up not being wrong.
Indeed. It also routes very well for Flouche because they get to, while they're here in Graveyard, just go on to Kakariko, open up the well, and complete Jabu all in one trip.
Yeah, and I mean with the letter and the scale we have, playing Deku Tree just routes in wonderfully.
Indeed. Interesting choice by Flouche to check the Composer Grave check out of logic. I think it's perfectly good to do so when you're looking for your path in Graveyard, but if you're specifically looking for magic when it would have to be second magic, it's debatable. However, not doing Dampe Grave Digging first, it makes perfectly good sense as far as you know your letter itself could just be on there, and that's more information for you.
Yeah. So we are basically looking for a magic, one of two magics. And yeah, I think we will see GGG being played soon, since now it's first of all it's in logic now. Plus, it's a dense location that you need to visit anyways for the light arrows. So I think a logical play, or after Deku Tree, would be GGG and then Ganon's Castle, if you chase density.
Indeed, and that does assume that we find our light arrows. I agree, you go to GTG, you see what you find there, but we currently can't full clear GTG, so I'm still holding on to my little bit of nervousness. Flouche is losing a tiny bit of time, as you noted, though, earlier, missing the graveyard hint for 4 major items in Kek, and therefore turning in Skulltulas, even though they found their 4 items, so to speak. But being ahead, they can afford that.
Yeah, and actually we are seeing Domain and like Deku Tree soon on WeightyWords side, which is new checks for us. So I'm personally just hoping. Yeah, Jabu and Flouche with new checks. I mean, if you really believe you can go more Jabu, but I would be too nervous to skip checks here.
It's fair, but if your magic's there, when are you coming back? So
Yeah,
I can see it both ways.
Also, I think skipping something and then I don't know how you. I can't translate the saying into English, but basically, you do something, you skip something Jabu, and it's just embarrassing to go back in like half an hour later to clean up the checks because you were too afraid to skip something. You either skip it and go for it, or you full clear. But
yes, commit either way.
Yeah, commit. But nervously coming back later to clear it up.
And soy sauce,
really
what is this concoction of logic that you are cooking up? Oh my goodness. We don't need all of those items, surely.
Lock lights, deep fire, we have to find strong people because magic isn't light trial. I mean, yeah, that can happen, but I mean, it would be typical, honestly, for these seeds that if you have a good start and like the usual season 9 seed goes like you play 130, 120 without doing a single dungeon, and all of a sudden you can go about 5 dungeons because you found your bottleneck, and then you go.
And then we know at least one check in Deep Fire has nothing. I believe that was Pierre has a small key.
Yeah, and with the allowance of mid-air ground jumps using hover boots, you're not gonna get key locked from it, since you can skip 2 keys and Fire Temple using a trick.
Indeed.
And I mean, there were 8 checks, 8 keys in Fire, but 2 are removed, so only 6, and you only need 4 if you skip. So yeah, Fire Temple has really gotten a lot of buffs with the recent Sun and Reset update.
For sure. In the meantime, in Deku Tree, we're finding more items that require us to have the magic we're looking for. Fantastic.
I mean, if you're gonna play Ice Cavern...
I mean, Ice Cavern could have Song of Time, I believe.
Yeah, it needs to have. We know every other song.
So that could be required. Also, another big chest here in the slingshot room.
I've not seen this peak yet, honestly. Arrows climb up half the And there's the magic. Alright.
So we think we're in no mode. We think.
Yeah.
We still don't know where in GTG our light arrows are, so we're having all of our fingers and toes crossed that we're in no mode.
Oh, I would love to see Flouche. Ah, yeah, it's child Deku Tree. You could have grabbed the magic and then go moded Deku, but we don't have a fire source to pull it off.
Indeed. Curse that Din's fire off on Colossus Roof.
Grrr. Dins on Colossus. Grrr. Yeah, but maybe strength 2 in Deku, so... Or like deeper in Deku. And then we are absolutely go mode. Or no mode, I guess.
Indeed. And comment, unfortunately, all skulls are dead, but it would be a theory. We had a Kakariko important item number check, which told us that skulls have nothing. Okay, so currently Flouche doesn't know that magic is on the way. However, there's no reason to not go to Deku. So from here in Jabu, off to Deku Tree. With Jabu Deku complete, you go adult, you go to GTG, you hope to find lights. If you do, you're done with the game. On WeightyWords side... Yep.
No, go ahead.
We haven't done Water Temple yet. So he needs to go adult, go Water Temple completed, then go back child, go to Jabu, and then off to GTG for the same process.
Yeah, the fact that Flouche can route in both child dungeons at once without having to do an extra entry in between, it's just very, very convenient for him that he ended up finding, doing water before finding the letter.
Indeed.
Or finding the letter on his way to Jabu.
Agreed. Honestly, knowing Flouche and just the caliber of runner he is, I know I said earlier, I would have liked to have seen him go child and get the, Dampe Grave digging immediately. He took a slightly different approach, but maybe it was all planned as, okay, I know that I need to check Dampe Grave digging, but just not yet.
Yeah, I mean, with the Parfin, probably he knew that he would maybe end up doing Dampe anyway, but I think he opted out of doing it because first of all, the Requiem logs way more items than the Damper, and even though when I approach Parfins, I try to approach them first I do everything on Graveyard, and then I choose one path item and try to do everything that this path item gave me. And if I find more, then I start going deeper. But I want to stay as close to the path location as possible, if I can do that. But with the sheer amount of checks that Shadow has to offer, skipping out on Dampe digging, especially with no Sunsong, that makes it harder to route in, is never. I think it's not a bad choice.
Indeed, and agreed. The one thing WeightyWords does have going for him is finding that magic first. I personally love having Furores when I go through Jabu. It's a small time save, but it's a time save. Also, he will have magic for Water Temple. Again, small time save, but I believe WeightyWords runs on VC. So honestly, not having to reset in Water Temple is just 100% fantastic.
Yeah, especially on VC, saving on 7 quits is always great. I think I haven't timed it yet, but it feels faster. Now with Dungeon Entrance Randomizer, if you need to 7 quit in your Forest Temple entrance dungeon, it's faster just playing Minuet and going in again.
Okay, I would believe it, but I play on emulator myself, so I do not know.
It was slower, but I mean, you didn't really do it because you don't have a reason to save and quit in Forest Temple. in Season 8, for example, or like when dungeons aren't shuffled. But now that the option exists,
and I kind of like
think
this
that's
from WeightyWords. Honestly, you know you have to go to GTG anyways. Get your information now, whether you get to go mode all of your other dungeons. So you can just stop with a boss key, or you know if you need to be looking for strength 2. And at the same time, you have Ferores you can set in GTG if you need to. And if you find Longshot in here, you just get to save more time in Water Temple, potentially.
yeah, it's a very good play. If you find ladders fast-ish, you can skip some checks. And I mean, you can save a bit of time in Jabu. But yeah. What is
Looks like we're peaking the 2 Zora's Fountain checks. Just if there's strength here, sure, we'll grab it. Otherwise, move on with our life. Runners holding hands, 7 years apart. And we will be seeing how deep in GTG we need to go.
Maybe toilet. I will count keys and report back.
Oh, we have a big chest in the center. That's a
One key
interesting
right.
start.
Second key. And it's one big chest and a key, right?
I believe that is a big chest 5 key locked, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think a key and a big chest on the back, and that's a 5th key. Alright, yeah, so we need keys. 7 keys to be exact. But without... At least one of them is sort of time locked. So we'll probably not see this GTG center chest yet.
Indeed.
Since none of our keys could be strength 2 locked in that case. That's magic for Flouche.
Indeed. So Flouche now believes he's in no mode. Right now, WeightyWords, I imagine every check that is a key is just a small sigh of relief with that big chest on the center. And yes, Ink, I would guess if Weighty had the same amount of information we do, right now it feels like Weighty needs to make up some time, be it an execution or a potential strength 2 casino. Could be wrong on that. And heaven knows, beating Flouche in a match of execution is a tall order for anyone.
Yeah, that's not really happening.
And indeed, very hard to see that as a runner right now. You're an hour and 20 minutes in, and you believe that you're about to be in go mode, currently in no mode. Honestly, I'm probably feeling pretty good about the seed myself.
Yeah, see, that's... I think it's an easy to route and even easy to play seed. Nothing that really tripped us up hard, and we're go mode, alright. Go mode for WeightyWords.
We are in go mode then. So no key shenanigans, no strength 2 shenanigans. It's just get through the dungeons as fast as you can.
It's a crazy fast seed, honestly.
Yes.
I mean, let's take a look. Flouche is gonna finish Dig 3 now. 122. Maybe 123, GGG, 127, 128. Yeah, so I'm expecting a finish in the 30, like 130x-ish times. So no, probably sub 140.
Makes sense. And hello, Raiders!
The Raiders.
Welcome. We just entered go mode after a nail-biting GTG and not knowing if we needed strength 2 here on Restream.
Yeah. Welcome everyone from ZSR. Hope you had a fantastic Skyward Sword randomizer, if I remember correctly.
A game that I need to learn more about. I barely know the base game myself, to be honest.
Yeah, I've completed the base game once on Wii and twice on the HD version. But yeah, when someone tries to get me into a different randomizer than Ocarina of Time, I often answer with, "I'm not even good in OoT yet. Why would I start a new one?"
It does take a lot of commitment. But yes, Flouche getting Big Goron Sword off of Goma. So for the incoming raiders, we have both of our runners are in quote-unquote Go mode. Currently, Flouche does not know it. Flouche knows that his light arrows that he needs for Go mode are in GTG. He does not know where in GTG, and if they're Strength 2 locked or Song of Time locked, he needs to go grab one of those two. Fortunately, WeightyWords gave Restream the information that no, you don't need either of those. You just need a hookshot. So currently, with that being said, Flouche only needs their light arrows. They have all of their medallions. They need to grab their light arrows out of GTG, run to Ganon's castle, and defeat Ganon. WeightyWords has a little bit more of a work ahead of him. Currently in Water Temple, he is looking for the boss key, which here we on Restream know is on Dragon Chest. Fingers crossed that he gets there soon. He has set Furores at the boss door, though, so it shouldn't be too long here. After that, he needs to go Child. On the way, we'll collect Song of Storms, which lets him go into Jabu and complete that as his last medallion. WeightyWords' advantage at the moment is they already have their light arrows, so they don't need to go to GTG. And indeed, it is looking like a sub 140C.
Yeah, very likely sub 140, which is a very, very fast Season 9 seed.
Indeed. I have seen faster, but only on very rare occasions.
I've seen... Yeah, someone in chat played a 113 seed a week ago or something.
Oh my goodness, and I think it's one of the people in chat, as a matter of fact. I think it was Ink.
Yeah, Ink did 113 something, and he even admitted that it could have been faster, but he did some unnecessary things, and he could have routed it a bit more insanely. But I mean, you got a 113, you cannot really complain. That's a PB that's probably never gonna be broken. But
indeed,
it was a 113 with a forest temple required, and I think DC was a stone, so it had sub 1 potential, which is a sentence that I never thought I would say. But sub 1 can happen. But not in this seed. We are probably in the 30s today.
But in the meantime, WeightyWords about to get their boss key and hopefully happy to find it. Flouche going for King Zora skip so that they can grab their light arrows. Well, I should say King Zora skip. They already moved them out of the way, so I guess it's still skipping him, but it's much, much easier with him already moved. King Zora skip, yes. It's like box skip from Jabu.
And sadly, WeightyWords missing the quick grab on Morpha. It's harder to do with hookshot.
For sure, and it's not easy regardless.
Oh no! And Morpha is escaping the first grab. It always hurts to see.
I can only imagine, though, the nerves running through right now, more than understandable, and fortunately not too much of a time loss. On Flouche's side, good news for WeightyWords. Flouche is going the incorrect direction for the light arrows. Unbeknownst to Flouche, of course.
Yeah, if you don't... I mean, I usually like to peek the freestanding here, like as Flouche did.
It's very fair, but if you're going strictly for check density, I think the other way is technically faster, but it always depends.
Well, I mean,
it's nearly 50.
You don't have strength 2, so left side is not a lot of checks.
You could be right. I still
But yeah,
like
maybe,
that if you're
yeah.
full clearing it more, but there is definite reason. In the meantime, WeightyWords finishing off Morpha, save quitting to get back to Temple of Time, grab their Song of Storms, and on their way to Jabu.
Yeah, and since the second key was the freestanding key was a freestanding key, so we know that the center chest in GG would have been locked behind Ice Cavern. Logically, at least. So yeah.
And Ink in chat, also a top runner, stating that if you're only looking for one item, going right side first is correct. Seeing that Ink
Okay.
said it and Flouche did it, I would believe it. I have no numbers myself, but both top tier runners, so take their word over mine.
Yeah, I mean, I have numbers, but I don't have timings for these checks. So
Well, and as far as which one is correct, we are definitely talking as a percentage of races you run, because in some of the races, right side is faster. In some of the races, left side is faster. It depends.
yeah, but I mean, with no Song of Time, right side could. Yeah, I mean, I think the first 3 checks, like the Magma Slug Hammerlock room, as well as the Beamos fight room, like these 3 checks are faster than the first 3 checks on the left side, being these checks. I think if you need to go deep into GGG, left side could be faster, but yeah, I don't know at the end of the day.
And Flouche is getting a little baited here by the center big chest. It makes good sense, but it's granting WeightyWords some extra time, which right now he will take every second he can get. So, Jimbo, lights.
Just
Indeed, as
for
Ink said,
2
we're
minutes.
in the Wolfos room. But you know you have big chests in here. You know you're looking for one item. You know that it's in here. Hitting the big chest you can see makes sense. Even if it's not the item in question, maybe it's strength 2 and the item in question is behind strength 2.
Yeah, absolutely. If you know you only need one big chest, every big chest could be the one that gives you gore mode. So yeah, aggressively pushing them, I don't think it's wrong.
Indeed, and especially with the Furores, you get to save a lot of time that otherwise you would have to spend walking back and forth. But Flouche will find out very shortly that they are indeed in go mode and can stop worrying about potentially needing strength 2. And there is go mode for both of our runners. So, Flouche warping probably just somewhere in the overworld to save quit, looks like. Perfect. So this has started the clock for WeightyWords. It looks, I hate calling it early, quote-unquote, over. WeightyWords would need a lot to go wrong for Flouche at this point.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised Flouche didn't play Serenade, but did Nocturne.
Indeed. Perhaps cost a tiny bit of time, as I believe Serenade is the fastest song, but...
Nocturne is 2 notes more than Serenade.
For sure. But at the same time, Flouche has certainly made up for it with the rest of the race, so... And we should have no problem defeating anything up the tower or Ganon. We have magic, we have Begoron's sword, we have a hammer. We couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, we even have double defense.
Indeed.
So it would take a lot of hiccups to lose, to die, or like to lose a lot of time here, or at least to lose enough time for WeightyWords to catch up.
Indeed, and we wouldn't wish that on any of our runners. So, while rooting for WeightyWords at this point, also rooting for Flouche, hopefully all goes well in the tower, hopefully all goes well in Jabu as WeightyWords finishes it up. Assuming that Flouche takes the win here, we could go ahead and take a look at our brackets, if I use that command again, because depending on the winner or loser here, I'm honestly not sure who they're looking at facing. Helps if you use the correct command. So, with Flouche and WeightyWords, it looks like they are up against
The winners
Exodus and/or Drew.
Runes. Yeah, a match that ended earlier today. The winner is gonna face off Runes, and the loser of them is going to face off Exodus. Both players very dangerous runners, and I think Exodus is always is a Majora's Mask enjoyer as well. So he's not only dangerous in one game, but in 2 games.
Sorry, Zavi. But with the way that the tournament works, regardless of who faces who, with Flouche presumably taking the win here, Flouche still needs one more win to be able to make it to brackets. However, they have that cushion of, if they take a win in their next match, they advance with higher seeding going into the second phase of the brackets. If they take a loss, they are not out of the tournament. Meanwhile, it is an elimination match that WeightyWords is looking at, and... Okay. Just saw a slight pause on WeightyWords' side, was making sure all was good. It was just waiting for the enemy in Jabu to calm down a bit so that we could jump across. Holy jet indeed, Benji. First phase of Ganondorf down for Flouche here at 135.30. Meanwhile, WeightyWords still, don't get me wrong, yes, it looks like that they will be taking an L for this match. They played excellently. They are about to be in Ganon's, joining Flouche. Certainly nothing to feel bad about this run. It's just with the top 32 player base, you can win or lose any match. You can play perfectly and still take a loss. It's just part of Randomizer.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's random. So even if you execute perfectly, you don't always win.
Indeed. First phase of Ganon complete for Flouche, so we still need to pick up the Master Sword and finish out the pig. Meanwhile, WeightyWords, Baronade is complete and will be warping off to Temple of Time shortly. Unfortunately, no prelude, but Serenade is a good second best as far as warp songs to age change.
Yes. Yeah, and I've noticed Flouche doing these jump slashes in the second phase of Ganon. I think I will maybe implement them as well, because I often miss my crouch steps and then get cold feet since I'm one tap to Ganon.
And get your GGs in the chat for Flouche as they take first with a time of, if I had it right, 137.23. But I'll confirm that. I don't have the race open, I'm afraid.
21.
21, my mistake.
Oh no, 2 seconds. GG's Flouche. Yeah, it was a very jetty seed. With a bomb bag and minuet start, you could kind of predict that. But I mean, 137 isn't something you see every day.
Indeed. Also, due to the stream delay, welcome in, WeightyWords. We're seeing you finish up here in a moment, but due to the delay, you are able to join us now. GG's.
Thank
GG's.
you. Thank you, GG's.
Unfortunately, we won't be joined by Flouche, but WeightyWords has been kind enough to join us, so thank you again.
Yeah, no problem. The very jet seed. I don't think I've ever seen a faster seed than that, for me at least, this season.
Certainly everything seemed to fall into place. The only thing we were worried about towards the end was, do we need strength 2 for GTG? And if so, where on earth is it?
Yeah, and that was a little bit, because I definitely checked things on the way, like after I got the magic. And I was like, oh, I might need strength 2, so I was still checking stuff on the way. But yeah, I regret not going to Deku before bottom of the well, because then I could have just skipped the rest of bottom of the well after getting the irons.
More than fair. If it makes you feel any better, Flouche did the same thing well into Deku later. You were actually the first in Deku, but Flouche's routing made it such that he had Song of Storms when he got Letter, so it was an immediate Jabu after getting Letter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But how did you feel about the seed? Certainly was a jet, as you mentioned. Did it feel good going through it? Was it constantly, okay, if I feel like it's a jet, is my opponent thinking it's a jet too?
After having gone through so many terrible seeds, it's nice to have a jet. But I also know that, like, if it's a jet seed, Flouche is probably just gonna fly through it. So I was like, I had like mixed feelings about it. But it's always fun to do a jet. It's just you're doing progression and you just get everything along the way, and it just really feels nice instead of like scrambling to search for one item.
Makes sense. And it felt like everything was mostly pointed to. We assume our last path hint, I don't think we saw it from either of you, was Lon Lon to Bongo. That's
okay.
About all I can think of.
Yeah, so yeah, that would be the hovers there.
Indeed.
Yeah,
and the chat was the first to note that most likely Prelude had Song of Storms. I assume that was on your radar fairly early with the lack of a Morphopath.
Yeah, I definitely. I guess the other spot it could have been was Ice, but that path led me to think it was definitely on Prelude. So
yeah, I think it needs to be on Prelude, since by the time we got the hint, we already had everything to get the Ice song.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
there wouldn't have been a path for the song if we like. I think I said at this point we don't need to be in Keg to get the Ice song, so Storms has to be in Temple of Time.
Yeah.
So really the only thing that at least threw me for a loop was when we found Requiem in Graveyard and its path to Evil's Bane. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so Shadow has my letter, right, game? We go through Shadow and we get to the very end and we get to the Floor Master and there's a big chest and it's double defense, game of all things.
Yep. I was definitely thinking that it could have been in Shadow for sure. So
yeah, I mean, Shadow's just too many tracks to not believe it in Shadow. But on the other hand, I'm actually quite happy it was double defense in Shadow, because like bait strength 2 in Shadow with a deck with a K-Sword available would have maybe led us into Spirit Temple before going up to going and cleaning up Child Dumper. So I think having bait in Shadow, like bait that doesn't give you progression, was the better option than having bait that is progression.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was unsure because like for the what was it, the Cac Path to Berry, we got Bolero and Kakiri's sword, so I was like thinking that something could be either there. So I'm glad I chose the right one. It's also just faster to get there, so that's pretty much how I decided between the two. But yeah,
and that K-Sword being in a path location was particularly troll because it led to Stone Spirit of all things.
Yeah,
and I mean it's just better going well at this point. You don't have strength 2, and you need to open Spirit Temple, and then you have a few checks at Child Spirit, and then all of them are logic because you don't have strength 2.
Yeah.
and on the other hand, there's well open, which is just the super dense area.
Way
that
more
you
items.
can,
Yeah.
that you can actually logically full clear.
I really enjoyed the CAC major item hint so that I could ignore skulls after
Yeah.
finding the 2 items.
I don't know.
That-
Flouche skipped it. I don't
Oh,
I don't know
really?
why. It was graveyard, right?
Yeah, it was in
Yeah,
graveyard. Yeah.
he jumped off twice or something after playing Nocturne, and he ended up collecting 10.
Okay.
So
yeah.
a bit of time loss on Flouche's side, unfortunately, but yeah. It was a great hint.
Against Flouche, we'll take whatever advantages we can get, right, Weighty?
Exactly.
But any questions that you had for us? I'm trying to think of anything else with the seed. That was most of the, for lack of a better term, hoops that you had to jump through.
Yeah. I just I did a couple. I did some extra overworld checks. I dipped into fire, which I shouldn't have done, but I was kind of feeling a little risky. And then just Flouche being the better executor. It makes sense that he finished insanely fast.
Indeed, we did find a hammer. I'm trying to recall where was hammer, and hopefully chat or someone can help me out.
Hammer was in Water Temple.
Yes. on
Never
the-
compass,
okay.
I don't know, but
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
The one with the water sprout blocking the chest, I don't know if it's
Mhm.
map or compass.
Yeah. That's. I think that's compass. Yeah.
Agreed. Also, hello Raiders, hello Ecola. I believe that you were restreaming the same match, so welcome in. No big surprises here. And GG's weighty words on stream now that you are finished. 144.34, an amazing time, just unfortunately all of the top 32 opponents are so crazy.
Yeah, and it's also my first time in the main tournament, so it's even scarier for me.
Well, congrats and good luck on your next match. I believe we found out it was against either Exodus or Drew based on their match.
Yep. I was watching that match as I was getting ready for this race, so it should be a fun one.
Well, I know I'm in the same boat as you. We're not out yet. We can take 2 more wins and go to bracket, so there's hope.
Of course, yes. Always.
But I think you mentioned no questions, and I'm not seeing any questions from chat. So unless anyone wishes to add anything, I think I can hand things over to Tom. If Tom is around.
Tom, that's your key. That's your buzzword.
Hello.
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 That was too fast for me to catch most of. I came into this very late, so I am going to have to go back and watch this again. But it looked like it was a great race. So GG to everyone. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for Trackers for a great race. Chat for coming out. I am going to send us off to the Marine Mammal Rescue and the Otters and get us out of here. So everyone have a good day and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.